to start here. Ladies first. Brenda, Brenda, I've never actually asked you how to say your last name. Jesteadt. Brenda Jesteadt was diagnosed with lung cancer. She is a G12V leg victory patient in 2021. Prior to her diagnosis, besides being an impressive person, she just worked as a pediatrician for 35 years in the suburbs of Pittsburgh. Beautiful Pittsburgh, and I'm hopeful to get up there. She was an avid runner, cyclist, skier, and scuba diver. And last night we were hearing about some of the amazing activities that she was doing, and she's really getting back to an awful lot of them, but she's really trying to get back to more. So welcome, Brenda. We're happy that you're here. Okay, and then we also have, Mohamed Salem or Salem?
Salem, like Winston Salem.
Oh, Salem. Okay, sorry, like Winston Salem. Okay, great. I was like, all right, I've been butchering everything all day. I thought, I was going to mess that one up too. Okay, I'm just tickled to death that he's here today. He is a GI medical oncologist at the local cancer center here at Levine Cancer Institute in Charlotte. And we recently saw some of your KRAS information that was just recently published and getting a lot of attention, shall we say. So I was excited that we have somebody special from in town, and he's going to be able to join us and speak to our topic. Our topic coming up is, don't worry, Eric, I haven't forgotten you. We're going to be speaking about clinical trials, how that looks from a patient perspective from two patients. And the other patient is Eric Madsen. Eric is a computer cloud architect currently residing in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. He was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in 2019. He is a KRAS G12C colon cancer patient, and after responding to some standard of care chemo, he went through a KRAS HIPEC surgical procedure that was almost curative. Those are words in a patient's life that have a whole new meaning. So welcome, you guys, and I'm thankful for you to be here. I'm going to step down, and then I'm just going to let you, and I'll talk to you from there. Okay, am I in the right spot? Okay, I'm going to pull up a chair here. Hey, Brenda.
Hi, Terry.
How's it
Terry.
going?
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thanks. Okay, thank you guys for being here today. You want to tell us, how did you get involved in clinical trial?
Well, I think one of the best things I did was get a second opinion before I needed it. Before it was imperative and I was scared. So I went to Texas and had gotten a second opinion and knew that when things went downhill, there was somebody there with a trial for me. And interestingly, in January, when that happened, the same day, my community oncologist flipped a 30-page paper of a clinical trial that they had just gotten in Pittsburgh and said, this trial's good, I think you should do it, which was the only education he gave me on that, by the way. And in my head, I'm going, yeah, I'm going to Texas. But I went home and read it and researched it. And I thought, well, this is a pretty good trial. Talked to my consultant in Texas who agreed. He said, for the ease of doing it in your hometown, I think you should do it. And if it doesn't work out for you, it wouldn't preclude you from doing the trial that I had for you down here. So that was how I made that decision. And it went quickly because of that. My last chemo was February 2nd, and my first trial drug was March 10th.
Okay, so you're talking all this year.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and so
I'm 15 months from diagnosis. Yeah.
Okay, and so I probably should back up a little bit. How did you even find out that you were KRAS anything?
When I went to Texas, I had never heard the word before. I had been told I didn't have a targetable mutation, and I was pretty sick at that time and really didn't investigate it further. And when I went to Texas, my consultant was like, oh, you're lucky you have KRAS. And I'm like, what, lucky? And, actually sat down and drew out the pathway for me, explained where he could attack the pathway at that point, and gave me a plan B and a plan C and hope for the first time. Since I was diagnosed. I share that when I was diagnosed, my oncologist walked into my hospital room where I was alone because of COVID and said, you have stage 4 lung cancer. This is bad. You have maybe 2 years, get your affairs in order. So getting the hope, learning about KRAS and the possible treatments that were out there was one of the most encouraging things that ever happened.
So they just started off basically telling you, good luck, we're sorry, you got lung cancer.
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, he said, unless we can find, this was before my mutation stuff came back, my biomarker testing, but unless you have a targetable mutation, and that will give you, more hope.
Yeah, and you're G12V. It's not like you're kind of like, one of the quintessential
Right.
targets. So,
Right.
okay. All right. And then Eric, if you pull Eric up on the screen. Hey, Eric, nice to see
Hi there.
you.
Hi.
Wow. Look at you. Like you're like really you work in the cloud. We
Yeah,
had no idea.
I'm way up here.
So that's what the cloud looks like. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us today. I wish you could have made it here in person. I know it just didn't quite work out, but I'm glad you're here. You want to kind of like walk us through like a 90-second version of your diagnosis?
Sure. I was so as you said earlier, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, G12C, back in 2019. And went through some standard of care therapy. Folfox was not effective. Folfiri and bevacizumab was, which then made me a surgical candidate. So I decided to have CRS HIPEC surgery that was, and like you said, almost curative. It did clear out all the disease from my abdomen, but unfortunately, several months later, several small nodules started to grow on my lungs, and it later turned out to be the same colon cancer. So it did metastasize. And unfortunately, because of the locations and the number of these little tiny nodules, I really wasn't a surgical candidate to have those removed. But since I was lucky enough, and I guess I say lucky tongue in cheek, to be KRAS G12C mutated versus other mutations that didn't have any targeted treatments, at the time, both Amgen and Mirati were conducting clinical trials with their, at that time, very, very new KRAS G12C inhibitors. So my wife and I decided that that would be the next treatment option to try next.
Okay, so was it, did your doctor present it to you? Was it presented as an option or what?
That's a great question. My oncologist at the time, you said earlier, you really have to be your own advocate. That is just absolutely true. And my oncologist at the time, he's a wonderful oncologist. He really was provided great care, but he was really only focused on standard of care. He's just like more chemo. He didn't want to do clinical trials, didn't really know much about clinical trials going on. It was not his world. So it's important to find an oncologist that is more in tune with what your ultimate goals are.
What was your ultimate goal?
To be cured.
Okay. Brenda, what was your ultimate goal?
Live long and prosper. To live long and prosper.
Okay, great. All right, doctor. All right, we're gonna put you on the spot. Okay. And so it's like, all right, so tell us, I mean, first of all, it can't be your favorite part of your day walking in and telling somebody like, hey, you need an oncologist, right? But how do you enter into the conversation about a clinical trial?
Yeah, no, so let me say something first. I'm really grateful to you and your team for the invitation. And it's actually a pleasure and honor to be here with you guys today. And you here in the room and online, thank you for taking like a precious time from your weekend and spending that time here today. But this is what we need. We need more people, more voices. I heard the prior speaker was saying about the policy, and this is actually how can it change things. And trust me, doing this for a long time, patient voices is heard and usually have much powerful impact than all of us in the cancer center. So thank you for doing this. And of course, thank you for doing this in the hurricane, middle of the hurricane. So yeah.
We don't let anything, once you're a cancer patient, you don't let anything stop you. You like, COVID, cancer, we're like, bring it. We want a hurricane. Like next year, we're hoping to have like a nice, easy year. So
Yeah. No, I don't want to digress too much, but I think it's important. I always say to my patient, I do believe that hardship brings the best of things in us. So when life is good and everything is fine, like really it's hard for you to know what's going on. But when you go through hardship, you know how strong your relationship, how strong your marriage is, how strong you as a person is. And being here in the hurricane and just insisting to do this, it just say how much will all of you and you, Terry, has. So as I say that, thank you for being here and taking the time. And thanks for the invitation. It's really an honor. But back to your question, I think you were asking about clinical trials. So let me just give you a bigger little bit picture of how I see things, and just this is my personal perspective. I'm a GI oncologist, so I do only colorectal cancer and pancreatic cancer. I don't know how to treat lung cancer now, which is sad, but I've been focusing in GI malignancy for very much most of my career. But I think the concept is true for all cancer. Back in the early days, I think when I was in medical school, I'm not going to tell you when, but when I was in medical school, we only had one drug that we could use to treat colorectal cancer. That was drug called fluorouracil, 5-FU. That was the only that's it. You give that medicine and you have nothing else to give. Nowadays, as of today, we actually have multiple drugs, at least half dozen. And I agree, it's not enough. But at least more drugs we can use. So that's a key. The prior speaker spoke about like the importance of development of new drugs, which is crucial. The second piece I think happening is better understanding of the biology. Back to your point, Brenda, you said like it's just lung cancer. I really think, and we do believe that now, cancer, like let's say colorectal cancer, is actually the family name. Then you have like G12C colorectal cancer, colon cancer, MSI high that has something to do with immunotherapy. That's also another group. So we start to subdivide cancer into small subgroup. And the reason that's important because we start now to understand it's actually better to give like that targeted treatment or that specific treatment for those small subgroup patients that actually gonna respond to tumor, gonna respond well, than just give them everything, like if you will, to treat it. And the only way we can do that is by clinical trial. So clinical trial, I think it should be the standard of care. I really think every single patient should be treated in clinical trial, or at least have an option to participate in clinical trial if they wish. And I always say to my patient, and when I go to speak anywhere, ask your doctor or the team taking care of you about clinical trial option. Clinical trial is a generic term, so it means like different trial, not all trials the same, but at least have them look into this for you. And if your team, the local team, don't have the right trial for you, because sometimes you do have trial, but it's not the right one for you. It doesn't make sense for you or for the cancer. So if you do have, if you don't have the clinical trial, ask them, okay, where can I go to have that that at least discussion?
Okay, well, okay, let me interrupt you for just a second.
So-
Oh, no, you're doing great. You're doing great. But in order to do that, like, you're kind of like, my doctor didn't present clinical trials to me. Okay, Brenda was at like a community oncologist, which is where most patients really go, like 80% the statistics show. Okay, and I don't even know as a patient to even ask that question, right? I just walking in and it's like, fix me, I got
Yeah.
cancer, right? So, okay, wow. I'm feeling the lights are going. But at the same time, so how do I, as a patient, know to ask that question? And how do I go through and pick a clinical trial for me?
No, that's a very good question and fair too. But the first one is easy or easier because there is more awareness now, like in TV and radio and those platforms and everywhere about clinical trial. And this not just a rule like physicians do, like perhaps even you and other advocates do that better, because when it comes from you, it even has a stronger voice. So I would encourage you, like anyone who knows anyone has cancer or got diagnosed, just tell them, talk to your doctor about clinical trial. Go to your doctor, ask them, okay, do I have clinical trial option, or do you have something for me? And if not, where can I go to check? the second piece is technology now is much better than before. So Twitter, Google, and search. It's actually much more easier to be able to find at least something sources. But I agree with you. I think it's very hard for any patient or most patient, even the oncologist, to figure out where is the best clinical trial and where it is. And I think that has to be a teamwork. At least sometimes you hear, okay, that's particular center, like they really focus on immunotherapy, for example, and maybe we should check that. So the doctor or the team taking care of you really have to guide you a little bit in that direction until you get to the right place. Say, okay, is this where maybe it makes sense for you? So it's a team effort, I think.
I totally agree. It's a team effort. Brenda, do you have anything to? You were part of the team. You jumped right in, but I think as part of it, as how did you know to jump in about?
Well, one of the first things I said when I was diagnosed was I'd like a clinical trial. And, you know, my doctor just looked at me and shrugged his shoulders and said, we have chemo. And that was the extent of it. And I think that was the reason I went to Texas. I was doing well at that point on the initial, it was 3 months after diagnosis. And I just knew there was something more out there that I wasn't going to get in my hometown. It turns out that a trial did come to my hometown. That was chance or divine intervention. I don't know, but you know, at that point, there was nothing for me there, and nor did they encourage me or offer anything. And when I said I was leaving, there was no hard feelings, you know, they were like, well, good luck. But that was at that point, the most I got.
Okay. How about you, Eric?
Yeah, I think, you know, the finding a clinical trial, like I mentioned earlier, having an oncologist who really is in that world is very helpful. Belonging to KRAS Kickers, very helpful. Support groups on Facebook, very helpful. But most of all, I think really, again, being your own advocate, going out on Google searches and clinicaltrials.gov and searching. First of all, knowing what your cancer is, knowing your KRAS G12C, G12D, whatever your mutation is, that's important because you need to find and match up the available trials with your disease to get the best chance of finding a trial that is compatible with what could be most beneficial for you. And I have found numerous trials online that even really there's a growing number that don't even have to do with KRAS specifically at all. A lot of new therapies that were talked about earlier by the doctors today that could be fantastic for almost anyone, either with cancer or with any KRAS mutation. So there's a lot of different sources to find it, but you really have to kind of sit down and spend some time and do some research, and you'll be surprised what you come up with. There's a lot out there.
There is a lot out there, and kind of finding it and narrowing it down. I think for me, it would be like, okay, so how do I compare and contrast? Right. And so some of the considerations would be things like Brenda had mentioned, location, right? There's location. There's like the treatment, there might be the timeline. I know some people have not been able to participate in a clinical trial because they were going to have to be in the hospital for like 6 or 8 weeks. They had young kids. They might be like a single working mom or something. What other considerations should we give to make a decision as far as like, even if let's just assume it's the exact same thing, that we just want them each equally as much. What considerations should we give when we're looking at a clinical trial?
So it gets very complicated because, as Eric said, sometimes information is overwhelming, and you really have to have a team that supports you. Just make sure at least you trim this list down and make sure what is the best option for you that makes sense, and what clinical trials that make sense for anyone at some point might be like a month or 2 months or 6 months from now, actually not the right one, maybe a different option. So we really need a lot of guidance from our our oncologists and team caring for us. But I do agree with you 100%. You really have to be the advocate for yourself. You have to ask us a question and say, okay, like what clinical trial option I have, where can I go? And frequently, which I see it often, the spouse, either the wife or the husband or the boyfriend or girlfriend, plays that role. And really it's fascinating how much input and help. And frankly, sometimes my patients, their loved one bring me a list of clinical trials. Say, okay, look at this, which one makes sense for me? And some of them I really didn't know they exist. So it's also educational for us. To your question, one of the challenge, and I think this really need to change, and especially from the policy aspect, clinical trial most of the time must be done for good reason at the center that conducting the trial. And sometimes that means travel, could be like to Texas or like Arizona or somewhere else in the country that become harder. And also there is a lot of time taking, resources get spent and all that stuff. So sometimes logistically it become harder to do that. And I think having access to those clinical trial locally where you live has a huge impact, because that allow people to go and participate on it instead of like taking a month or 2 months off from everything to just go stay in Texas, for example, for 2 months.
It sounds like what you're saying is what Brenda did was a really good idea, is because she went and got in front of doing the clinical trial. She knew that she was going to need something. And so she did the analysis and went to another state to get the information around it. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, actually, I agree. I think having second opinion at any time and even like maybe initially, maybe later on, is a very good idea, because that's, I always say like if you have two people looking at the same thing, they usually come with a better idea. So second opinion is good. I don't encourage 10th opinion, because these things get confusing and like really hard and time consuming. But second, third opinion, I think it's good, especially if you're looking for clinical trial option. I have a question, if I may.
Yeah, sure, please.
So Brenda, why did you ask for clinical trial?
Well, I mean, honestly, when somebody tells you you're going to die, you need to get another opinion. And the standard of care offered me nothing really long term, and I wanted to live, and I knew a clinical trial was the only way to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, after the standard, which didn't work, the only thing they had for me was docetaxel, and they still offer me that. So I was very happy to go somewhere else and find other alternatives.
Yeah, sadly, our number one reason as a patient to get involved in clinical trial is not really to make a big research difference. It is really to live. And
That's very good.
and that's like, I mean, that's the whole reason we started with it at all, you know.
I'm sorry, I have to say, like, many of my patients also are very generous, and they also wanted to help the science and the legacy. But I tell them, very important, that's a secondary. You really will have to focus on you now and you doing better and at least get this under control. So I think contribution to the science, very important aspect, because that helps everyone else. But bottom line, we need to do what needs to be done for that person right now.
Yeah, we're all for that, 100%. That's why we want to kick cancer's KRAS. I mean, like simply said, right? We can kick all KRAS, all cancer. We don't even want to kick all the KRAS because we know that some of it we need. So, okay, does anybody have any questions in the audience as far as around a clinical trial? How would you pick a clinical trial? What would you need to know about a clinical trial? Yeah.
During the day-to-day, I checked on my patient portal to make sure of some facts, and there were clinical trials on my test results page from the pathology of my tumor. I never knew that before, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And I think a lot of us aren't always getting our NGS testing done. We're not getting our mutation results. We don't know what we are. And once we find out what we are, we're not always sure exactly what that means, let alone what to do with it. And I mean, the statistics in lung cancer, they kind of lead the way a little bit as far as biomarker testing is concerned. And we're still considerably lower than 50% of the patients are being tested, and of the 50% that are being tested here, like less than half of them are finding out what they are, so we can't even get the information. So anybody, you look like you had something you want to say. Yeah, tell us how you found.
My gosh, I have so much to say. My name is Colleen. This is my sister Kalisha. We're from the Georgia area. We just moved here. We just moved here from Virginia. And our mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, never a smoker, no family history of cancer. We don't even know where this came from. One day she just woke up not feeling well, found out it was an ulcer. And they did everything. They did x-rays and CT scans and everything like that, and come to find out it was endometrial, and then it was his lung. And so us being of a very big family, about a big faith-based family, we were just like, okay, where do we go from here? And we're still like that right now, because I never heard of a community doctor. They basically kind of just told us, this is what you do, and this the same day start chemo. No information. I've worked in oncology for 10 years, and talking about clinical trials, I thought it was like that was the last result. And a lot of patients think that that's the last results, like there's nothing else to do except to kind of, give your services to a clinical trial to help later on in the future. But now I'm sitting here and I'm just like, what is going on? Like all of this information, and even now my mom's in the hospital. We weren't going to come, but the tornado and hurricane and everything else going on in the world, but we made it through here because we're like, no, we need information that we're not getting. And right now her hemoglobin is low and we can't get it up. And it's like every day she's getting a blood transfusion. And they did a thoracentesis and then punctured her lung. That's on top of the lung cancer. And we have to wait for that puncture to heal and so forth, but she has a chest tube, and right now we're kind of just like in the same state, like it's not closing. In the meantime, they're not focusing on the cancer, but in the meantime, the hemoglobin's dropping. But when you walk into that, the hospital room, my mom's up smiling, and just her faith is so strong. But I mean, right now we just want answers. We just want answers.
I know that we can't fix your problem, but I'm glad you guys are here, and we're going to help you get through this. We can't make it better. We can't fix, but we can make it better together. And a lot of it is going through just knowing that we're connected together around clinical trials, and we're going to help figure out whatever we can do. But I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you for being here. But that does kind of like lend to a patient. When is the optimal time to look at a clinical trial or to start a clinical trial? I mean, you just heard. This is, and I wish I could tell you this is the exception. This is standard.
First of all, thank you for being here again and for taking this time. I'm so sorry your mom is in the hospital, but just our prayer for her and you to as well. And this just highlight also something I strongly believe in. I think cancer diagnosis is not one person diagnosis. It's actually the entire family diagnosis. And we should actually make it a community diagnosis because it touches every single one. Like it doesn't matter if you are the husband or the wife or the son or the daughter, it affects every single one in the family and impact them in one way or the other. And also, I think cancer care, it's like a group or like a village care. It's not the oncologist or the nurse or one or two person, it's just a group. And perhaps that's the role you're playing here, educating people and bringing awareness and attention to that important topic. But you mentioned something very important, which I think is very common, commonly people believe in that clinical trial is the last option. I don't think that's true. There is, as a prior speaker, she mentioned there are different kind of clinical trial, and it depends on what kind. Maybe that's actually the last option, but also quite often that's actually the first option. So sometimes, like for example, in colorectal cancer, we had what we call frontline, meaning like patient didn't receive any treatment before. That was the first option using immunotherapy for certain tumor called microsatellite high. But the point is, like, it could be the first option, could be the second option, could be the third option, or the last option. So it always should be on the list. And a good point I always tell anyone I talk to is when you hear the word cancer, the next thing to it should be is any clinical trial possibility for me or option for me. And then when the cancer starts to build resistance to the treatment that you're already on receiving, that will be also a second good time to ask about clinical trial, because most of clinical trial will mandate or require, for good reasons, that whatever treatment you are receiving now is no longer working, because it doesn't make sense to stop something working to something else. So it's like an ongoing conversation, but I just want to highlight it's really a group effort, and it's never enough to have like resources and talk to people as much as possible. Of course, I mean, cancer is a little bit sensitive and private, but it's always good to seek second opinion, community leader, like advocacy. That always helps.
That's part of what we aim to do, is we try and bring this together. I've got another question here. Yeah, Hope.
Thank you. So I actually, my connection to KRAS Kickers is my mom has stage 4 lung cancer. She gets her treatment at Wake Forest Baptist. We've had a great experience there, but I work at Atrium Health and I work with health literacy. And one of the things I was wondering is, so my mom, luckily, her oncologist, he told us to do the biomarker testing from the beginning. He got her in a clinical trial. She was on the Amgen trial. She's still doing well in Lumacras. But what I'm wondering is, how do we change the practice of oncologists? Because with health literacy, patients don't know what they don't know. They don't know what to ask because, like you said, we were blindsided. My mom fell. We thought she broke some ribs. All of a sudden, she's got stage 4 lung cancer. We didn't know what to ask. We've never dealt with this. So how do we make it so that the standard of care is every oncologist says, hey, you need biomarker testing. You need to look into clinical trials. Let me help you. Why isn't that a standard practice? Oh, I just wonder.
Sure. No, I think that's a very good question and excellent point. I have to say we actually came a long way over the last few years, especially the last like 3-4 years. Not too long ago, like 7-10 years ago, we actually didn't do much of testing, and clinical trial also was not like in the center of what we do. And so definitely there is a huge improvement. It's not good enough. Is not what really we would like to be to achieve. But I think we are in the right path. I just wanted to highlight something. Not too long ago, like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, KRAS was something all of us thought there's nothing we can do about it. That's like a common mutation. This is by far the most common mutation happening in cancer, and drive a lot of cancer. And we thought there is nothing we can do about it. And now today we start saying, okay, no, this is not true anymore. There is like, this can be done, that can be done. And I don't think it's gonna stop. I think this is just like gonna continue to go on. But to your point, more voices, more awareness, more platform like Facebook, and like everything has good and bad. Like social media can play a pretty powerful role in this, like Twitter, group like this, and others, talking to people. I shouldn't say that because it might be not like a good thing, but I also believe things happen for a reason. And it's amazing that some, at least patient I saw personally, they have cancer, how much change they did for the community and the world. And we are in US leading the cancer care in the world. So I think like the voices here are very, very important and needed change.
Well, and you know, as the KRAS Kickers are a global community, and we're tumor agnostic. So there's patients around the world, and a lot of times they can't even, one of the benefits we see like in the Facebook group is we'll see people from Europe or India or Australia or whatever, and they're like seeing what we're doing in the States. And it first people were like, I had naysayers. They're like, oh, they're going to find that as disappointing. Actually, it's bringing them up to a little bit more awareness as far as what's coming next and encouraging folks to be able to look at like those clinical trials more first line. So it's actually having kind of like a reverse effect, which is improving everybody's care overall. And we did have a question come in line. Okay, as far as like side effects when you're on a clinical trial, there seems to be always consistently liver levels seem to be a particular problem across cancer types. How do you know when you should get taken off the clinical trial or what? Like that's the beginning, the middle, the end, right? First finding out that you've got a mutation. Now I start the mutation. Now I go something. Now I'm looking for clinical trial. Do you have to come off the clinical trial when your liver numbers are bad or as a result of like, say, immunotherapy or something?
Yeah. So clinical trial now, which is great thing, also is very, very highly and tightly regulated. So like anyone participating in clinical trials, there is a very, very like tight criteria, what should be done, how often it should be seen, what should get, like things like that. So side effect is potential possibility and real possibility from any drugs we use. And usually clinical trial will mandate like to check, like let's say the liver function every this often. And there is a spelled out criteria that like if that number goes from here to here, there is those steps you need to take. And like it's really very regulated. So you are right, the liver usually get impacted for a lot of reasons, but there is safety and criteria built in the protocol that guide whoever treating that. I don't think you have to come off the clinical trial, depending on the specifics, the criteria and the actual drugs and things like that. But there is also like criteria said, okay, if this happened, patient need to stop the clinical trial and move on to something else.
Okay. And Eric, we haven't forgotten about you yet, but you keep disappearing off screen, so it makes me like undecided I'm on here. So I'm going to pull you back in here in a second. But I do have another question is like, as patients that have like, say, a G12R or some other like less common mutation, should they hang around and wait for a specific targeted therapy specific to that mutation, or should they like consider looking at something else?
You mean no treatment?
As far as like a clinical trial, I mean, should I like, okay, so let's just say I'm G12R, I'm G12D or whatever I might be, right?
Yeah.
Should I just stand back and wait, or should I be looking at something else now?
Okay, so it really depends on the actual scenario, and whoever asks the question, I'm happy to chat with them later on offline, because it sounds like there is more details into it. But like if like anything, if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, including cancer, you don't want to leave that untreated. Like people or patients should get some kind of treatment. And if the clinical trial, whatever it is not available or is not an option, so I think we still talk about some kind of treatment should be given to try to suppress and control the cancer. So I wouldn't wait with no treatment whatsoever for the next best thing. But while you are actually receiving the treatment, I think it's a good idea to look for other option too. And I also think it's like a chess game. It is not like one step now. You're really looking for the long term, like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. And when you are doing that, think for the next step and for the next step and the plan ahead, which help everyone.
Definitely. Definitely. Brenda, were you going to say something? You're just being in agreement.
We're just all looking for the holy grail. I mean, you just, we want it.
Yeah, retweet that. Okay. I gotta keep an eye on the time here too. Eric, what is your takeaway from what it is that we're saying out here? It truly feels like you're off in a cloud over here. I mean, and you've got the whole moon thing going on behind us.
Well, you were talking about, I just wanted to make a couple of comments here. one of the lady in the audience mentioned something about the liquid biopsy, and the information was actually matched up the mutations with clinical trials, and that's great and that's wonderful, and I have seen that on my own reports. But having seen that, it didn't list everything that was available. So it definitely not a complete list. It's really only targeting the exact mutations that are listed. And there's so many other trials that are, you know, a lot more agnostic as far as what they're looking for. You don't have to be specific KRAS mutation. You don't even have to be KRAS mutated. Different types of things. I'm looking into one right now that is just a completely different approach. And so, so really, it boils down to just searching and investigating, and just keep looking. And there's a tremendous amount of information out there. I know it can be overwhelming, but get help from your oncologist. My oncologist was the one who just out of the blue came up with this clinical trial that's near Washington, D.C. at the National Institute of Health that could be a great option for me. And, you know, it's something that I never considered before. So, you know, there's places, and I also have to give a strong shout out to my wife. She has done 100% of the investigative and work to try and find all this information. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. So, you know, it's important really to not only try to do as much research you can yourself, but just collect as much information as you can. Any family members that can help is great.
It is a community within our own families as well. And Dusty had a question too.
Yes, actually, this is for you, Terry. Can you tell us a little bit about the KRAS Clinical Trial Navigation Service?
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to do that. We wouldn't really call it a service, but part of what we aim to do in the KRAS Kickers is KRAS isn't just a biomarker to us. It is about the KRAS knowledge, the research, advocacy, and all for survivorship. And one of the ways that we do that is not only we're bringing up information into the Facebook group of which most of y'all are in here, so that we can engage in different conversations and have those sorts of topics. We also enjoy bringing in the pharmaceutical companies in order to kind of discuss what they've got going on in that realm. We have specific programs that are designed for early clinical and preclinical. And so you guys are going to start seeing a little bit more of those coming online really soon, as far as being able to come in so we can actually pull in the questions. But we also on our website, okay, have a list of the KRAS clinical trials. Now they're KRAS specific. Okay, and just because you have a KRAS mutation does not necessarily mean you belong in a KRAS specific clinical trial. You may belong in a different sort of clinical trial, like that may involve surgery, immunotherapy, or whatever. But it's been very difficult for us as patients to be able to know and navigate what it is that we need and what it is that is best for us. And then there's always the option to reach out by email. I mean, I make myself really available, like almost too available sometimes, that if you ping me in Facebook, if you hit me up with an email or almost any way, shape, or form, you just hit me up. I'll do what I can to either connect you to something I may know about, answer a question about it, or point you in a direction that I can get you, whether that's with one of the partner organizations that we work alongside of, because we do not work alone in a silo here. We are a community. Okay. And by community, I mean, we are a cancer community. We are a family, and we have to work on and connect with each other and share that knowledge. And so we don't operate in a silo. We build on alliances with the other organizations, whether that's the lung cancer organizations, colorectal organizations, pancreatic, working to expand those connections so that I can have brought in the KRAS focused information and then help connect back out, and then work together. But it was a great question. Thanks for reminding me to highlight it. But I don't want to push us too far back, but I do want to give you an opportunity to say something, Doctor.
can I have a question to Eric actually?
Sure.
Because Eric, if I may, I'm seeing you on the screen, but I wanted to get your like your input. How did you navigate? Like, I know where you live, but like from where you living to like going to Washington DC and getting your treatment. Like this usually is not an easy process. So can you explain to how it went?
Yeah,
through?
that so yes, it's been a journey. My wife Janet and I started out, we were living in Jersey City, New Jersey. We owned a condo there. I got the diagnosis, complete life change. And after getting some treatment and being close to New York City was wonderful because there are obviously a big city and lots of options there. But really, after having my surgery, the CRS HIPEC surgery, and then having these nodules appear on my lungs and no longer being a surgical candidate, there really is, and I wasn't responding well to the chemotherapy after that. Clinical trial was really the best option, and the one that my wife found, she found an oncologist and a great clinical trial. It was the Mirati Crystal 10 that was being conducted in Boston, and so I hopped on a train and went straight up to Boston. And this of course was in the height of COVID, and so I was fortunate enough to be able to travel relatively easily and not horribly expensive by train to Boston. And I got on the clinical trial. And because it was something that was going on every couple of weeks, getting treatments, it was expensive. And I had to get some temporary housing up there. We moved up there for about 6 months and eventually had to sell our condo. And we moved up to the Boston area, and now we're up in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, which is about 2 hours north of Boston. We wanted to stay reasonably close to Boston because the Massachusetts General Hospital was one of the leading research hospitals, and we wanted to stay within a couple of hours drive to that. And all of the clinical trials that we were looking at after the Mirati trial, unfortunately, kept me stable for about 8 months, but eventually failed. We were looking into other trials there as well. So now that there's other potential travel going on, I just went to Houston to MD Anderson to look at a trial there. Unfortunately, I got there and all the testing and then they said, well, sorry, we have no slots. So that was kind of a setback, but they did have some other trials that were possibilities there. So there's really a variety of options that I have, but yeah, traveling is probably the biggest challenge that I have had with participating on trials. And the Washington DC one, it's reachable by train, and we may spend some time down there. This particular trial, however, it looks like it could be maybe as most trials are, you have to participate quite a bit in the beginning, but maybe in the first month or so. But this one could be as infrequent as every 3 to 6 months. So, and that's very doable as far as traveling down there from here.
Yeah, it makes a big difference as far as where you are located compared to where the trial is located. And that has a financial implication as well. And that's a really big topic right there. That is just, and anybody who knows about this or any of the pharmaceutical companies, it goes a long ways when you cover our parking, our lunch, our travel, our expenses when it comes to becoming involved in this clinical trial, because it makes a big difference. Cancer is expensive.
And
There's
many
no
clinical
choice.
trials, by the way, I should mention this, many of the clinical trials, including the one I'm looking into, will cover much, if not all of your expenses to participate. So look for that. It's a very relevant thing to ask. And There are financial programs. For example, Amgen has their nurse navigator program, and I think they call it Amgen 360. I forget what the name of it is. They have financial assistance programs. They have question and answer, very, very helpful. And I think several of the drug companies have a similar program like that. So
Very
definitely.
much.
to look for.
Yeah, that's a great point. And so, Doctor, I was going to let you kind of like wrap us up.
Yeah, thank you, Tara. I know we are short of time, but Eric, thank you for sharing this story. And this exactly highlights the point. I really think patients should not go to clinical trial. I think clinical trial should come to patient, because not every patient will be able to travel from financial, childcare, health, everything else. So the way we can make this happen, that clinical trial come to every patient where they live, is by changing policy and by more voices from everyone, all of us together. And I think, Terry, you're doing a great job, you and your team in this, and really appreciate the work you do.
This is live. Okay. I'm not going to let you guys get away because like we get to do this live. And so what we've done with all of our speakers, I don't know if you've heard the last couple of months, is we as a team, as a community, to really show our spirit, is in this group here and our participants all said together to Kick Cancer's KRAS. And so if you're game,
Yeah, sure.
okay, they're pretty warmed up. I don't know how warmed up you are,
Yeah,
but
I am.
okay, I gotta stand up because otherwise my knees are gonna give out. Okay, fortunately, I'm like short enough. I can actually still get on the camera, I think. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Kick
Kick Cancer's
KRAS.
KRAS.
All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much, Eric.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. And this was wonderful to be able to participate remotely.